Performance Training with Coach Abdullah. Let's do this real fast. My battery's low. I just wanted to give a few points, I think important points, about the Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman fight. First and foremost, I'd like to congratulate living legend Manny Pacquiao. He's an 8-time world champion in 8 different weight classes. Nobody living like him, and you have to give that credit. That's the first thing I want to say, just congratulations to Manny Pacquiao. But to the young guys, you got to understand something that Keith Thurman said after the fight. He said that Manny Pacquiao beat him in the training. And one thing I've been trying to do in Jeddah is trying to show young guys how to train like a champion, how to train like a top elite competitive athlete, someone who's been a champion fighting against a living legend. And he says that the living legend, who's 40 years old, beat him in training. That's monumental, and that's something for all you young guys. You guys got to pay attention to that. As people that are around me, I've been telling people all the time. It's like nowadays with the current environment that we live in, food, health, so on and so forth. I tell people that 40 is the new 25, because the 25-year-olds they've been raised on junk food. They want to reach out for fame so fast. The 40-year-olds, they know they were raised on better food. They're more structured. They have a foundation. They live on principles generally. So I like to tell a lot of young guys, 40 is the new 25. I always tell guys, if you can't, I'm 46 years old, okay? And if you can't out-train me, outwork me in the gym, that's a problem, especially if you're in your 20s. I was going to talk about the fight strategy. I guess I will, real short. I noticed about Keith Thurman's approach to the fight. He actually said in an interview, and he did exactly what he said he was going to do in the interview. A lot of fighters don't do that, but he did. And trying to knock out Manny Pacquiao in the first round, he got clipped in the first round. I look at the fights in which Manny Pacquiao kind of didn't look as dangerous as the mystique that he carries. Timothy Bradley fight, Joshua Clottey fight, even you could say the Adrian Broner fight. Even though Adrian Broner didn't throw any punches, he pretty much kept himself safe the whole time. I'm not saying that's a fight strategy, a good fight strategy where you're so defensive that you have no offense. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is there is a fight strategy. Even you look at Floyd, you look at the fight with Shane Mosley when he got clipped. After he got clipped, he got on his feet. And this is one of the fights that Manny Pacquiao was complaining about leg cramps. People don't study Manny Pacquiao's footwork. His bursts of shooting in and shooting out, or catching you when you're coming in, and his rotation of angles, and then he'll volley a bunch of shots at you. In order to avoid that scenario, you gotta box. You gotta box. You gotta make Manny use his legs in a traditional boxing sense. When you force Manny to use the ring in order for him to touch you, his legs burn out. When a guy too early in the fight, tries to stand toe-to-toe with Manny Pacquiao, it's not a good idea. Them punches come from everywhere. There's one slow motion clip, if I can get it legally and add it to this video, I would love to do that. But you'll see. Just look at the right hand shot that dropped Keith Thurman in the first round, and look at the other shots. Sometimes it's like he's actually running and throwing punches at the same time. Look at the pivots that he was making. He was making some pivots to where sometimes he didn't even throw a punch, but he throw a punch, Keith Thurman was wide open. So I just think that the strategy for Keith Thurman was a little bit off. And that's not a shot at Keith Thurman. He's a great champion. I think he proved in that fight his grit. Keith Thurman, aside from Manny Pacquiao, if you put him in with any other top welterweights, I'm not saying he's going to win, but he's a tough guy to fight. He showed he's tough. And to me, he shows he's tough. He took a lot of hard shots against Manny. That's what I wanted to say. Number one, congratulations to Manny Pacquiao. Number two, I thought Keith Thurman had a bad fight strategy.